Okay, we're gonna try this again. This is my third attempt to do this video. Okay, I think it was my mess ups. Anyway, I think this should have been the very first video that I put out for this channel. That way you understand what our goals, what we intend to accomplish here. Our goal is to get more people, young people, older people, it doesn't matter, out into the great outdoors, fishing, hiking, bird watch, it doesn't matter, hunting, whatever. Just get more people out. Get them into the great outdoors. The Lord provided one of the greatest things for us, and it's right out there. Now, to let y'all in on me, my name is James Tucker. I said I've been an outdoorsman for over 20 years in some form, fashion, or another. I thought I was a fisherman before, but 3 years ago, I had 2 strokes. Let me back up a little bit. From 2016 till 3 years ago, I've had 5 heart attacks. I have 7 stents in me. They're wanting to go in and put pacemakers and stuff in me, and we're going through that now. But 3 years ago, I had 2 strokes. I had to learn to walk and talk again. And one of the things that helped me get back to where I am now was fishing. And my beautiful, great wife helped me. Did not realize how much aerobics, how much therapy went into fishing, standing out there, casting, walking. And we're going to be doing most of what we do here off the bank, something everyone can do. Not going to say that we're not going to be on a boat. We don't have a boat right now, but that's in the works. But like I said, that helped me so much, and it brought me closer to God, standing out there talking to God and praying and getting better. And I wanted to share that. It's all I ever wanted to do is help people throughout my life. And this now is a way that I can try to help. It's up to you. You know, there's an old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, no matter how much you hold his head under the water. So I'm no expert. There's other channels that I linked in the unboxing of the new Abu reel that we're going to be using that I watch. And I picked up techniques and tricks. There's hundreds of channels out there that these people know way more than me and been doing it way longer than I have. I think I can help with the basics. Me personally, I like the old school ways. I've caught more fish off of a Zoom trick worm. I've caught my PB, which is personal best. I've caught 2 10-pounders off of that. Simple Texas rig, EWG hook. That is my confidence bait. That color, that right there, something that I'm trying to get more confident with. I've caught a couple of fish. I've missed a couple of fish, and I figured out what I did wrong was just a simple chatterbait. I don't care if it's this brand of chatterbait or other chatterbaits. I like this one. There's a guy that has a channel called Fin Fishing, and I learned from him because he was doing a show about people saying they can't use this bait, never caught nothing. Lock that bait that you're just not confident with in your hand for a day's worth of fishing and see if your mind changes or you get more confident with it. That's what I'm talking about. His channel is, he has 2, fin fishing, and I can't remember the other, but the links will be in the description below. We are trying to work with some sponsors to help. Everything you see here, everything was paid for by me or my partner, Mr. Larry. This gets expensive really, really quick, and it is a very expensive habit. We're trying to work with Tackle Warehouse, where I'm hoping to get a link to be able to put in the description that will help you, and it will help us at the channel if you buy something, especially if you're gonna buy something anyway. The other one is I'm talking with Bass Pro Shop, I'm talking with Academy Sports, I'm even talking with Milwaukee, which I know it sounds crazy, but they have a lot of good products, clothing wear, knives, belts, like I said, that I use and wear, and I look for something that's not just affordable, but I learned a lesson a long time ago, buy once, cry once. I've got a belt down there that I got from Milwaukee over 3 years ago, and you can't tell me it doesn't look just like it did when it was brand new. Rod and reels, rods. I get these from Academy. Now they're about 100 beans a pop. But to me, right now, walking into a store for the money, I think the LS rods are worth what they ask for. I've got Luge Mach 1 rods over there. They're really good. I just believe, my belief, and my opinion is my opinion, they're like an elbow. Everybody's got 2 of them. So I believe for the money, that rod, because there's the same amount of money, I like the LS better than I do the Luge Mach 1. I'm trying out on a spinning reel, a Falcon rod. So far, I like it. I've got a spinning reel that is Abu Garcia, and I have another shorter bait casting rod that is Abu Garcia. I'm wanting to pick up one of the new Abu Garcia rods to, if nothing else, later to pair it with this Abu Garcia. I'm weird like that. I'm a Shimano freak though. Since I started using Shimano, I've had one problem on one reel. I got a hold of a rep. He gave me an address. I sent it in, and about 3 weeks later, I got a package in the mail, and it was not the same reel. It was actually the newer style reel, because they had quit making the other reel, and they just replaced it because it was easier for them to do that apparently than fix what I had. Warranty is another thing that I look for. If they will stand by their product like that, why wouldn't I buy it? You know, I bought cheap reels in the past from name brand companies. They were their name brand reels, and they didn't last a season, and I took it back, and they're like, well, you know, it only had a 30-day warranty. and I think I paid like 50 bucks for it. Well, guess what? I had to spend more money to replace that with, when I could have just put that 50 and a little bit more with it and bought a better reel. That's what we intend to do here at Hook Down and Dirty. Is, I know money is tight. I would rather you go spend $250 beans on this reel and know you're getting a quality product, or even 200 on this if it turns out to be just as good, then you go spending $50. A couple of months later, $50, you could have then almost bought one of these. Instead, I've had this reel right here for 3 seasons. And it still functions, works just as good. Now, I lube, maintain, and oil the same oil that I use on my Bing Bangs. I use this on my reels and it works good. It's marine grade. Lucas is, you ask any mechanic, Lucas oil is top notch. So, like I said, that's the other thing. Maintain your stuff. If you buy nice stuff, take care of it. And it'll take care of you. But like I said, we're not brand loyal. Line, there's P-Line, Suffix, Seaguar. There's even Berkeley Vintage. I really like this line. You can see there's 2 of them right there. That right there is fixing to be out. It's going to be used for leader line. And I picked up a new one to, because I use this where I know I'm going to have to be changing out line on a reel. If I get around really, really like rip-rap rock, bridge piling, stuff like that, your line is going to get nicked. It's going to get tore up. And I learned when a bait caster gets down to a certain point in the spool, it's better to change that line. Or if, I don't care how nice or whatever that line is, if it's been on that spool and spooled up and not used for months at a time, it will get a memory in that line and it will not cast as good. You'll start having backlashes, and I don't care how good you are. This reel right here, that is a DC reel, if you can still get a backlash, and it's going to happen. You just need to understand. They say this will not do it. If you set it on max setting, well, who's going to leave it on that? So backlashes are going to happen. That's something that is. You ask any pro, they're going to backlash. I use braided lines. This is one of my favorites right here for braided lines. For most of the time, I use my braided line on my spinning reels. I don't have line twist from it. I don't have wind knots, and it comes off so butterly smooth. And then I learned to tie leaders. And I found, and that's one of the things I'm going to show eventually, is the leader knot that I use. There are so many of them out there, and some of them are so freaking difficult. It's like you're trying to do, to do mathematics, write a poem, and stand on your head all at the same time. There's some of them I still can't tie, but there's one, and I do not know the name of it to save my life, but it works. And I've never broke a knot or leader off at the knot. They usually the leader breaks before the knot. So And I'm going to use that. That's like the knot that I prefer to use for tying hooks and stuff. It is the, I'm sorry, this is part of the stroke thing. It's the Palomar. Once I started using that, never have had a problem with a knot at the hook using a Palomar. I'm not saying it's the be-all, ends-all. That works for me. There's, I don't know, 100 different fishing knots to use. The Palomar is one of the simplest, easiest things. I use it to tie a lot of everything. One of the knots that I'm learning to get more efficient with is the slip knot for a loop slip knot for like crankbaits and stuff like that. That's like I learned using a heavier line on crankbaits. Sometimes it's not the best. I use 12 pound, or even I will go down to 10 pound, depends on how far down I'm trying to get with fluorocarbon. And with top water, sometimes I get better results with a 12 or 10 pound monofilament for top water than I do for a heavier line. And I really like the fluorocarbon coated lines. You get the best of both worlds. It will sink not as fast as regular fluorocarbon, but it's got a little bit of stretch sometimes, like with big swim baits, and you got a big thick rod and you go to set that hook, you can pull that bait or pull those hooks out of that fish's mouth before it gets hooked up good. Those are all failures that I've learned and learned ways around them. And that's what we're going to do here at Hook Down and Dirty, is maybe we can show you some of the mistakes that I've made, other people have made. You don't make that mistake, and it makes your hookup ratio better. You know, you put more in the boat, whether you're taking them home to eat or you're catch and release. 99.9% of all fish that I catch, I release. Sometimes if there's someone out there that I think that wants that fish or needs that fish and it's legal, I will give it to them to help feed them or their family or whatever. That's rare and far between. Usually they're out there fishing on their own, but most of our fish I catch and release. That way somebody else can come along and catch that fish. Because me particularly, I don't eat fish. I got sick off of it when I was little, and I just don't like it, except for trout. Trout, I'll fight you over it. Trout, it doesn't taste like any other fish I've ever. Trout, just, I don't know. It's just got a different taste. And we are going to go do some trout fishing too, y'all. I absolutely love trout fishing. It is the funnest thing to take a 6 to 4 pound test line and you drag in this monster trout that could weigh 4 to 8 pounds. And you know, I've caught most of my trout off a little bitty octopus hook and a piece of corn. That is the craziest thing in the world. But that's what we're here about. The other thing is, I'm going to be trying to upload at least one video a day, at least 3 to 4 a week. The 29th, I just had cataract and corrective surgery on this eye. I used to have to wear glasses. And I'm kind of Google-eyed right now. This eye right here, I go the 29th. The 29th, they're going to do the same thing to this eye. And for about a week, I have to watch what I'm doing and all this kind of stuff. And Miss Cat will be on my head giving me noogies if I'm not listening. And then like I can't lift anything over 5 pounds. I can't bend over and stoop, and it's kind of hard to get a fish out of the water. So therefore, at least a week, it may be a lot of talking, product reviews, talking about different baits, tactics. I will still try to get things out to you. And give you progress updates. I thank every one of y'all for subscribing. Please share, please like, hit that bell, leave a comment, it helps. I don't know if this channel will ever be monetized. I don't care about that. I'm doing this because it's fun and because I like it. If it ever gets to be not fun and I don't like it, I'll tell you thank you and kindly bow out. Thank everyone for coming and listening to my rant, my rave, and God bless every one of you. I hope you get to know the joy of our Lord and our Savior and His Son, Jesus Christ. Enjoy the great outdoors. Remember, that's the first thing He created. And He did a masterpiece. Thank you. And everyone, go out. Try to get hooked up. Have fun doing it. Thank you until the next time. Goodbye.